Hey everybody, welcome to Cards and Sharps. Are you ready for some throwback action? I have, over the course of time, accumulated some packs from back in kind of my heyday in card collecting, the mid 80s. What we have here is a lot of, we got some 85 Donruss, 85 Tops, 85 Fleer, and also a pack of 87 Tops, which was kind of at the early part of the beginning of the junk wax era, but we'll still include it here because there was some decent rookies to be had, even though there's a million of them out there. First, before we get started, just wanted to show off a couple of things I just got in recently. I have been looking at the Topps Project 2020 cards and not really trying to collect the complete set or anything like that, because a lot of the cards I just don't really like, but the ones that I do think look really cool I've been ordering. First two I got the Mack Trout, and this is the Ben Baller design. I just thought that was just an awesome looking card. And I got the Nolan Ryan Express card, which that is just too cool. So got those two. We'll be picking up more as they come out with some that I like. Those the way they work is they're for like 24 hours they're on sale, and every how many orders they get during that 24-hour period, it may be 2 days, I can't remember exactly. That's how many they print, and that's it. Once they're done, they're done. The Trout, of course, being popular, and this had already been going on a little while, so that Trout, there was, I think, somewhere around 30,000 or so of those printed. Nolan Ryan, quite a bit less. There was a couple of thousand, I think, of those printed, maybe more. I can't remember exactly, but quite a bit less than the Trout print. Still, compared to what's in packs, that's pretty. That'll ultimately bear out to be a pretty limited card. All right, let's get started. What should we start with? We got the 85 Donruss, 85 Fleer, 85 Topps wax pack, and then we got an 85 Topps solo pack. I think we'll start with the least valuable set first. We'll open these 87s up real quick. Kind of neat to think of and see this. They even had the gum in these. So we're looking at what, 33-year-old bubble gum that has no smell to it, and I'm not going to chew it. I'm not that brave, to be honest with you. Topps bubble gum, that Topps made Bazooka, and I never was a Bazooka gum fan. I always liked Double Bubble better myself. So I never really chewed the gum back in the day either. We'll just kind of go through these real quick. Oh, Bo Jackson, Future Stars, not a bad one. In 87, we would be looking for Bonds, Jackson, McGuire's first appearance in Major League uniform. Really, piece of gum laying there. There's the Clemens. Really, it's kind of cool to pull these cards out, looking at cards that are 33 years old that just fresh out of the pack. I mean, just sharp as can be. Lenny Dykstra. Nails, I believe he was referred to back then. Darryl Strawberry. Dave Rigetti. Started off as a starter, turned out to be a really good reliever for the Yankees, and then I believe also the Giants. Alright, none of the Bonds cards, but we did get a Bo Jackson Future Stars. So that is a Bo Jackson rookie card. That is cool. Personally, I think most people like Bo Jackson better than they do Bonds, though Bo's career was cut short with injury. Alright, now we're going to get into 1985. What to start with? I guess we'll start with the top cello pack. As you can see, these were 59 cents back in the day, and it's like, and to be, honestly, that, didn't seem that cheap. Thought that was, but thought that was pretty good value to get this many cards for 59 cents when these were probably 35, 40 cents for a regular pack, something like that. But 85 is the year I probably bought the most cards ever. So I've been collecting since early 70s when I was little. And by 1985, I was in my early 20s, just starting a family. And there's 35-year-old Gum. And good job, but that age was able to afford an inexpensive hobby, and baseball cards was not really an expensive hobby, but also made enough that I was able to get every week on payday. Stop at back then you could get them at most convenience stores, grocery stores. And I would pick up a few packs of Topps, a few packs of Fleer, and a few packs of Donruss every weekend. And I had a ton of these cards. In fact, the rookies we're going to be looking for in this is going to be, of course, Clemens, McGuire and Topps only in the USA card, Kirby Puckett, Dwight Gooden, and there's a few others, but those are the ones of note. Pulled a lot of Clemens, a lot of McGuire cards. And McGuire, those were USA team cards, baseball amateur team cards. Wade Boggs, Hall of Famer. And those were not, nobody really paid much attention to those. Those were just kind of like a subset kind of deal that nobody really was all that interested in. So, move along to early 90s when baseball cards were in their heyday. At that time, right in the middle of the junk wax era, when the card companies were mass producing Joe Carter. We're mass producing cards. The rookie cards were really taking off. So I went when McGuire at that point was a big name, and when I went back and looked at Steve Garvey, went back and found out I probably had 10 of them, and same with the Clemens and all that. So you can see you get a couple of these in the cello pack. Of nobody really had a distinguished career other than McGuire. But those Clemens and McGuire cards from 85 is what Pete Rose is what pretty much funded my collecting in the early 90s. I would go in, I could trade a McGuire rookie or a Clemens rookie for at that time a wax box. And if you look at what they're worth now versus wax boxes, that was a good deal, even though that was junk wax era, and you can pick those boxes up cheap. But Those cards were that hot at the time. Didn't get anything too exciting out of that cello pack. It's a big set, so a limited amount to open here. Would have to get lucky to get one of the big names, but maybe we will. Buck Martinez, he went on to have a good career as a broadcaster, and that exceeded his baseball career greatly. Juan Samuel, at the time, he was, you can see from stats, I mean, he was a real good all-around guy. Stole a lot of bases, could hit some home runs, hit for good average. Just didn't maintain it for a long enough period to be a Hall of Famer. John Henry Johnson. Looks like we're going to get through this without any of the top rookies. And there's Kent Tovey in his shades, and noted for his very unorthodox, almost underhand pitching motion. All right, that was it for tops. Donruss, we're going to be looking for same rookies other than the McGuire. We're going to be looking for Clemens, Puckett, Gooden. The Puckett card did not take off until the 90s, because Puckett was Lou Gehrig puzzle. Puckett was not a power hitter in his early days. He was a slap hitter. Hit for high average, but pretty much hit everything opposite direction. And but he was always a stout guy. So at some point he decided that since they started pitching him inside, because he was slapping everything to the opposite field, he started turning on the ball. And then he went from 0 to 1 home run a year to being like a 30 home run a year guy pretty regularly. And that's when he started putting up the Hall of Fame numbers. That's when his cards took off. So everybody went back in and started digging through their 85 cards, looking for the Puckett rookies at that point. All right, we got Jose Cruz start off the 85 Donruss. You can see these are black border. Been in the pack for 35 years. They're pretty good shape, but this is pretty representative of what they look like when you pull them out of the box in 85. Centering with Donruss was pretty poor a lot of the times, so it was, out of the many like Clemens rookies I had during this, and Gooden and all them, you might have 2 or 3 that were pretty decently centered. Some of them were really cut way off. And these, some of these are pretty good. But the black also very hard to keep in good shape. So if you can find a PSA 10 or BGS 10 on these, you have found something. Tarny Almas, I remember he had a cannon arm, and he hit with some power. You can see he was regularly a 30 home run guy. That's what the back of the Donruss looks like. I like the Donruss and Fleer both, when they came out, put more comprehensive stats than what Topps had been putting on. And let's look at what Topps, their stats in, say, 85. By then, they had started adding things like the slugging percentage, stolen base, walks, and strikeouts, which before Donruss and Fleer came along, Topps did not have that comprehensive of stats. So that was one thing. Even though I always felt Topps was a better product, I did enjoy that about Donruss and Fleer at the time, and then they moved Topps in that direction as well. John Milton Rivers, also known as Mickey Rivers. The guy walked like he was 80-year-old man, but then when he started running, fast as lightning. Alan Wiggins, another really fast guy back in those days. Steve Carlton, lefty. Hall of Fame pitcher. That's a nice one. Steve Sachs, Milt May. Milt May, the catcher, and always seems like on all the pictures I've seen of him, on his cards, he was always wearing that batting helmet without the flaps, turned facing forward. There's our second Gehrig puzzle piece. Donruss did the puzzle pieces to offer something, since they were not allowed to do gum after 81. Topps had an exclusive on offering gum in the packs. Excuse me. My voice trying to go away on me. King Griffey Sr., when he was with the Yankees. Al Cowens, Mariners. He was a good, solid player for a few years. Larry Sheets, rated rookie. Sheets had some decent years. Not a long-term guy. Alfonso Pulido. Don't know he ever did anything. Do not remember him at all. Marty Castillo, Steve Bedrosian, good reliever with the Braves during the 80s. Larry Sorensen, good solid pitcher. I believe he was with the Brewers and then the A's. Yep, Brewers, Cards, Indians, A's, he got around. Joaquin Andahar, Diamond Kings. Cecilio Guante, he was a good reliever back in the 80s. Mark Hausman, and Rod Carew, Hall of Famer. Not too badly centered for a Donruss, a little off at the top. The picture clarity on their photos was not as good in Donruss as Topps. All right, last pack of Donruss. We are striking out on the big rookies, pulling some decent Hall of Fame cards. Bought all these packs individually along the way, and I'm guessing somebody probably had a box, opened them when they pulled the good rookies. They stopped opening the packs and held on to them and figured they'd sell the packs at some point. So I figured there's a fairly low chance of pulling the big rookies out of these, but you never know. Steve Kemp, good solid player with the Tigers and then the Yankees. Julio Franco with the Indians, who went on to play in his prime years with the Rangers, put up some good numbers, and then he ended up bouncing around, and I know he's with the Mets, the Braves, ended up playing on until late 40s, nearly almost 50 years old. And a good, productive player. In the last few years, he was first base and pinch hitter kind of thing, but he still was an effective player and played very late into his 40s. Joe Sambito, he was a good reliever with the Astros for a few years. There's Randy Lurch again. Mike Balecki, rookie card. He was a solid pitcher for a few years. Rick Dempsey. Bill Madlock. Batting champion for a couple of years. He would start off with the Rangers, got traded to the Cubs, ended up with the Pittsburgh, and I think maybe in there with the Giants, maybe in there somewhere. Good, solid player. Back in the days when good average, a lot of doubles, was considered a valuable player. Didn't hit a lot of home runs. Tony Phillips, John Montefusco, Cecilio Guante again, Jerry Royce, and Dan Quisenberry, who along with Tekulve back in those days was what they call a submariner. Basically threw sidearms so low that it looked like they were coming in with an underhand, almost like a fast pitch softball pitcher. All right, we're going to get into the 85 Fleer. You can see the backs there. Fleer had this look for a lot of years, a pretty similar design, but they had the good, comprehensive, easy to read stats with the white background. Had the player, a black and white picture on the back, and they did these stickers. And I used to have binders covered with these stickers from Fleer. And out of 85, Fleer was my favorite look. I just thought the gray border look with the kind of a team color around that just made the picture pop, and they looked like a good, just a nice looking card. They were probably my favorite look in the 85 year. 85 Fleer was also kind of considered, most people see it as probably the least produced of the 85 offerings. Bird Blyleven, Hall of Famer. Pennant clinchers. We got Goose Gossage and Steve Garvey there. Don Sutton, another Hall of Fame pitcher. Most known for his years with the Dodgers, but then as you can see here, he ended up with the Brewers. He was with the Astros for a while, and I want to say he may have ended up maybe with the Braves, or maybe it was just he was broadcaster with the Braves for a long time. If he's still not, I haven't watched Brave games and used to watch them all the time on TBS. Rick Honeycutt, good solid left-hander for a few years with the Mariners and the Rangers, and then he kind of bounced around a bit. Finesse pitcher, didn't get a lot of strikeouts, but always had a low ERA. Seemed like he always got poor run production support. There's some action shots of Cal Ripken, Stephen Nicosia, and Dick Schofield. Alright, last pack of the throwback cards. We are striking out as far as the big guys go. But this has been a nice trip down memory lane for me, because I used to open a lot of these and loved opening these cards back in the day. Frank Tanana started off with the Angels alongside Nolan Ryan. They were two high strikeout guys. He was a real hard thrower, and he realized that his career would not last very long if he continued as a power pitcher. So he started working on becoming an off-speed pitcher, changing speeds, locations, and became a very effective kind of a finesse pitcher, and ended up having a nice long career. Dan Schatzeder, Mike Hargrove, Doug Flynn, John Walton. And if you're going to get a card perfectly centered and everything, it might as well be John Walton. As you can see, he had a nice, pretty long career. Didn't put up any huge numbers or anything, but one thing he was noted for was, for a catcher, he was quite the base stealer. If you can see here in 82, he had 36 stolen bases, and then in 83, 28, which was pretty much unheard of for catchers. Even today, you don't see catchers with those kind of stolen base numbers. But he played for the Royals, who played that kind of a speed game, bunt and hit and run and that kind of thing. And so that just kind of fit the pattern of their team. Luis Leal, Pat Zachary, Damaso Garcia, Ken Landreau. He was a good, solid player. He was a guy that had some speed and a little bit of pop in his bat. Those guys were considered really good all-around guys. He never even hit 20 home runs, but always would steal double-digit bases and hit with some average and everything. A lot of those guys back in those days. Rafael Santana, Doug Sisk. There's Nolan Ryan. All right. we'll take a Nolan Ryan, and that one's centered really nicely, left to right, little off top to bottom. But we'll always take a Nolan Ryan card. Doug DeSensei. Willie McGee, one of those running Cardinals in the 80s. They were another team that killed you with getting on base, hitting and run, stealing bases. So they were loaded with fast guys and a lot of base stealers as well. And we ended off with Garth Orge, who, along with his brother Dane, played some years in the majors. Decent kind of utility type guys, never any really big years or anything. All right, well, that is it for Throwback. We did not land any big rookies, other than probably the best rookie is going to be the Bo Jackson from '87 tops in a fairly decently centered card, a little bit off to right and left right, but that'll be good. Bo Jackson rookie to add to my rookie collection. Other than that, nobody of real note rookie wise, but we did get the Nolan Ryan card and a few other Hall of Famers. I do remember Santa Rod Carew, Don Sutton, and some of those guys in there. So all in all, not too bad, and it was a lot of fun to open these cards again. And it's going to be fun to have pristine cards from this era in my collection, and because all the ones I used to have end up at some point disposed of, sold, probably in box lots and things like that, then traded off all my rookies and for more cards during the 90s, and over the years kind of lost, even probably lost a few. I've got some binders and everything I have them not located that had some of the rookies in it and everything, and one of these days I'll find that, and if I do, I'll share that with you guys, because it was a lot of the cards from back in this era, just before the junk wax days, and I've still got a lot of junk wax laying around, unopened and opened. But there you have it, 85 tops, Donruss and Fleer, with a pack of 87 thrown in there. All right, hope you guys had fun with that. If you like that, give me a like and subscribe, and we'll round up more of this kind of stuff, some older stuff, and do more of it if you guys like that kind of thing. We'll see you guys next time.